Do you need a webcam to start streaming on Twitch? It's a common enough question asked by those who are thinking about getting into live streaming. And the conventional wisdom says that yes, you should probably stream with a webcam, but that is not true for all instances. Today, I want to explore the other side of the argument, the side that says that no, you don't need a webcam to stream on Twitch. While it is accepted practice, the vast majority of streamers do use a webcam to start streaming. It is not something that you have to do. In fact, it could potentially be beneficial for you actually to not stream with a webcam. Before I get into this, I have to acknowledge this. You may be handicapping yourself by doing this. Twitch is already extremely difficult to succeed in, almost impossible. Seriously, there are very few people who are successful as Twitch streamers. And what you are doing is putting a barrier in front of you. So you are taking something that is already going to be extremely difficult to potentially succeed at and making it even harder. Choosing to do this means that there is almost no chance that you will succeed. That doesn't mean that you won't, but there is almost no chance. So do understand that before choosing to do this, okay? On the other hand, you're going into this with a handicap and recognizing that you have a handicap. That means that you are going to have to put thought. You're going to have to put time and effort into coming up with how to overcome this handicap. And that is already going to put you ahead of a lot of streamers out there. There is a large majority of streamers who seriously just sit down, webcam, bottom corner, turn on their mic, play video games for 6 to 8 hours and think that that's all they need to do to grow. And if you are approaching streaming with thoughts and ideas and plans and ideas on how to do better, you're already going to be ahead of those people, which means you're already looking at a much greater chance of succeeding out there. So these might balance each other out. One might be more powerful than the other. Time will tell. All right, let's cue the intro, then let's get into this. All right, let's go into a couple of reasons for why you might not want a webcam. For why streaming without a webcam may be beneficial to you. We'll start with a couple of easy ones. First up, you're camera shy or you don't like how you look. Having a person sitting there incredibly uncomfortable, continually looking at themselves in the camera and just being like freezing up and really uncomfortable is going to mean that your stream is going to be far more negative. People are going to come in, they're going to sense that you're uncomfortable, and they're probably going to leave. This is going to severely hamper any growth that you might have from people discovering your stream. If streaming without a webcam means that you are going to be much more comfortable, it's going to mean that anyone who does find your stream is going to, well, not have to deal with an uncomfortable you. They're instead going to see the you who is creating the content that you want to, increasing the likelihood that they are going to enjoy your content, stick around, decide to follow you. If making you more comfortable on stream is going to make a better stream, maybe you should not have a webcam. Try before you buy. Streaming has an unfortunate upfront cost between having to get the aforementioned webcam that I'm speaking into, a microphone that I've got down here, and a few of the other peripherals. You can end up spending a lot of money to get into a hobby before you even start it. Some people just want to try out streaming without having to put out the $50 for a webcam or $200 if you're in the middle of pandemic pricing. Perhaps just trying streaming before you get into it. Literally just figuring out whatever you can for a microphone, streaming without, just to see if it works for you. Because the concept of streaming can be very different than the actual reality of streaming. Once you actually get into it and you figure out what it is to be live for 2, 3, 4, 6 hours at a time, trying to keep energy levels and manage everything, you might want to figure out if that actually is for you before you go out and spend some money. So in this case, if money is tight, if money's an issue, I would recommend trying to do that. Now, with that said, if it's the monetary side of things rather than the instrument itself, I'm going to be doing a video relatively soon about how you can use, trying to find this thing, your cell phone as a starter webcam rather than going out and buying anything. We'll give a couple options of that. So if that sounds good, give a subscribe to this channel and that video will be coming out pretty soon. All right, time for a couple more complicated reasons. Number one, disability or disfigurement. If you are disabled, if you are disfigured, if there is something about you that you are worried that people are going to only be able to see and not move beyond, removing a webcam means that you have the ability to just be you on stream. Unfortunately, live streaming has a high tendency to attract trolls, to attract people who want to be mean, who want to get a rise out of people. If you are disfigured, if you are disabled, it is possible that people will come into your stream simply to attack you on that. Removing that visual element means that you, whoever you are, can just be you, and people will never see whatever your disability or disfigurement is, and instead you can just create the best possible content. Similar to this can be skin tone. Unfortunately, Twitch also has that same aforementioned problem with trolls and whatnot, and people out there who want to be racist or who want to be inflammatory can sometimes latch onto people who deviate from them. If you are worried that people are going to see the color of your skin and you're going to get a lot of people reacting negatively to that and you don't want to deal with that, maybe shutting off the webcam is a great way for you to just, again, be you on stream and people to discover who you are. Potentially, then you can build yourself a following, and once you are big enough that you've gotten over whatever that hurdle might be, maybe then you find yourself a camera, if you even want, and you turn it on then, once people are like, oh, whatever, they're popular. There's a couple streamers out there who have done it. Lyric has noticeably has talked about this in the past, about that being one of the considerations on why they didn't stream with a webcam. And following up on this sort of reasons that I'm giving here could be to desexualize yourself. I know a couple of people who choose to stream on Twitch without a webcam because they are worried about their sexual characteristics being seen on stream and that overpowering every other aspect of their stream. If you are worried that people are going to come into your stream and are going to be asking you to do things or making comments about your physical appearance and it's going to derail chat and you're going to have to deal with constant amounts of bans and everything and people coming in because they want sexual gratification or whatever, and you want to avoid all of that, again, it may be that streaming with a webcam is for you. And last on sort of this list is anonymity. If you are potentially famous or infamous, or if there is something about you and you just want to be kind of incognito for a while, this could actually be a really, really good way to do that. You turn off the camera, potentially you play with your voice in some sort of way, you can suddenly be a completely different person on the internet. Now, this is usually something to be avoided because if you have some sort of celebrity, some sort of buildup of something, one of the best ways to succeed on Twitch is usually to port that over, bring any of those people in like, hey, come see me on Twitch, you can be a lot more successful. But for some people, potentially the anonymity of the internet and just like hanging out gaming with a few people could be quite the draw for Twitch. All right, lastly, let's go into the content side of things. For a lot of people, the reason why stream with a webcam is the norm is literally it's the norm. People just go video game on screen, they go camera in bottom right or bottom left corner, and away we go. But some people want to put a lot of time and thought into their content, what they're producing, what they're putting out there. And in some of these cases, actually having a webcam or multiple webcams on stream could simply detract from what is going on stream. A popular example of this can be D&D or other sort of RPG sort of elements, where if you have one dungeon master plus you have 4 different players, trying to have 5 different cameras on screen can take up the vast majority of the real estate. And if instead you want to be showing off different maps, if you want to be showing off what's going on play, whatnot, that can be so much better than just having a couple heads sitting around doing, whatever when it's not their turn. Similarly, if you are trying to roleplay a character, it can be much more immersive to turn off your webcam as opposed to just, hey, I'm trying to roleplay a half-orc barbarian, but I'm actually, shaped and sized kind of like a gnome, and everyone's just like, I don't know, shorty trying to pretend to be a half-orc or barbarian versus, turn that camera off and just like, roar, I'm a half-orc barbarian. Alternately, another possible option might be voiceover work. If you're looking at like putting something up on screen and doing and dubbing over in some sort of way, potentially with multiple voices or however you wish to do it, again, it could break the immersion of what you are doing simply to have like yourself down in the corner. If you remove that and you make the voice and what's happening on screen the primary thing, turning off the webcam could be a very good way to add to this content rather than detracting. Now, there's going to be a ton of ways of doing this. This is going to be much more on you. If you are thinking about streaming, but because you think it seems kind of cool and you want to explore some different things, potentially look into this as an option. What are different ways that you could create content that would be accentuated by that lack of a camera rather than just be like, oh, they don't have a camera? Make it so that people who show up are just like, don't even think about the lack of camera because it's just so, it just works so well with what you are doing. If you do decide to stream without a webcam, understand that this is going to be an extra challenge for you. Humans are very visual creatures. I mean, the vast majority of us, can see, and it's how we interact with the world. Similarly, a large portion of communication is through body language. There's a lot that goes unsaid when you're conversing with someone. Removing all that, removing those little tells, removing those facial muscles, removing the hands that I'm doing the entire time of doing this, and simply having to rely entirely upon somebody's voice for their different context clues can make it a lot harder. It means you're going to have to learn to do a heck of a lot more with your voice to try to communicate different sorts of things to the different people out there who are watching. Was that good? Was that bad? I don't know. I was trying something different in the middle of this. You will need to figure out how to deal with this lack and how you can overcome this. All right, so there you go. Some reasons why you might choose to run a Twitch stream without a webcam. If you do decide to go down this route, figure out your reason for why you're streaming without a webcam and figure out how you can turn that into a feature. That is going to take you into the realm where you have a much greater chance of success rather than just being yet another streamer, but this one without a webcam, where you're going to flounder and do absolutely nothing. All right, guys, thanks for watching this one. As mentioned, there will be a video coming out relatively soon about how you can use your phone as you can set up your phone as a webcam. So if the price point is a thing, this way you can get into streaming without spending any money. And honestly, it is entirely possible for this to be better than the entry-level webcam that you are going to pick up anyways, and you can already set your content apart. So subscribe to this channel if you guys want to see that, and there we go. If you are still out there gathering information about how to start up your stream, why not check out this video over here where I end up talking about the startup side of streaming and the selection of your username and how that can seriously set you up for success or set you up for failure. All right, enjoy the next video. Thanks for watching.